the idea wasn't even like existing. It's like if you create a product and then you start selling it, and then someone says, hey, this guy owns the product. Like, yeah, they made the product. And now, obviously, not all own all entertainment. It's just a stupid thing to say. And once again, when you use the Hasidic guy in Brooklyn getting attacked because of that, and he doesn't even have a smartphone. So...
Okay, guys, got Jewboi on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
What a name.
Yeah, I mean, my real name is obviously not Jewboi. Well, actually, that's my Instagram handle is not Jewboi. But my real name is Tzvi. It's Hebrew. It means deer, but that's boring. When I was, I guess a few years ago, and I was just sitting by myself, and I thought Jewboi would be a cool online name. I just thought, boy spelled with an I. I didn't even know it was like, could be taken derogatory. And then a few years later, I go online and people start calling me like an effing Jewboi. And I'm like, yeah, that's like what my name is. Yeah. And then my friends were telling me, no, they're making fun of you. And I was like, oh, but I just thought it was a cool name. I didn't even know there's anything bad with it. And actually my great grandfather or distant relative, he was a Holocaust survivor. And he said when he was in Germany, like before Hitler took power, he said like his not Jewish friends in his class, they used to call him Jewboi.
Wow.
And there was nothing wrong with it was just a fun little nickname. And once Hitler came to power, then then the name got more of that bad meaning. But he used it in that way, and I always found that interesting.
Wow.
So, but I just thought it was a cool name. Yeah. and now it's my name online.
And now in the digital era, people are probably calling you it nonstop.
Yeah, but what I'm sort of trying to do right now is, I want to get big enough to the point where when you hear Jewboi, you're thinking of me as a person versus the actual bad name that it could be. Because it's one of those in-between names where it's like, is that could you say that online? Could you not? I always tell people they could call me that.
You want to normalize it?
Yeah, 100%. And that when people say that name, they're just thinking of me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you scroll on X, I'm sure you see that a lot.
Oh, 100%. And I'm like, yeah, but I want to get to the point where one day, they're calling someone a freaking Jewboi, and they're like, oh, you mean that guy? That's just what I'm trying to do. X is crazy, man. I mean, these guys are, it's not a fun place for Jews. And I know people are sick of hearing about Jews whine and stuff. But at the same time, we wouldn't be constantly whining if things weren't constantly being said. You got these schmoes like freaking Sneeko, Nick Fuentes, Dan Bilzerian, Jake Shields, Jackson Hinkle. Like you got these guys, they're pretty much dedicated to just, I guess, blatantly lying about Judaism. I think they get like a hard from it or something. It's something, they're just really obsessed with the Jews. They have this whole thing that they'll call you an anti-Semite, but never a liar. And I'm looking at the things they say about Jews, and I'm thinking, no, you're like a liar. You're like a blatant liar. Do you know what the Talmud is?
Heard of it, but I can't say I'm an expert.
Yeah, so the Talmud is a book it's essentially Jewish Reddit. A bunch of ancient rabbis got together, and they're like, okay, let's try to figure out certain laws in Torah. Let's sort of clarify the things written in the Torah. Meaning, let's say that in the Torah, it says you can't cut the hair off the 5 corners of your face. But then it's like, okay, what are the 5 corners of your face, and what the hell is even considered cutting?
Yeah.
So, the Talmud is essentially trying to figure that out. It's open discussion. Majority of the things in there are hearsay. It's not a book of law. It's just, you want to figure out how you get to a final law. So it's usually those guys figuring those things out. And you have these guys like Dan Bilzerian, who freaking, by the way, has a weird ass haircut. And no, I'm just saying, no, I'm like, it's kind of interesting. And he like trims his beard to give himself a fake jawline, which completely unrelated. Point is, he'll say stuff like, well, it says in their Talmud, which I don't know how he got mood from that, that people that aren't Jewish are considered animals. And I'm like, where the hell does it say it? They'll quote, I think it's like Yevamos 98b. I don't know what it is, like some quote in the Talmud, and he'll say, yeah, it says non-Jews are animals. And I'm like, I learned that shit when I was in school, when I was younger, before becoming a rabbi, and it's like not at all what it says. And those lies spread so quickly and easily on Twitter because it sort of became a justification for a lot of people on Twitter to not like Jews, because it's like, oh, look, their holy book, which isn't even a rule book, by the way, says that we're animals. So, screw them. We'll use this as an excuse. You look inside the verse, and it's like, it doesn't say that at all. The Talmud is like having listen, I'll debunk it in like 2 minutes, because that's how easy it is to debunk this stuff.
The tri-light from Therasage is no joke. Medical grade red and near infrared light with 3 frequencies per light, deep healing, real results, and totally portable. It's legit. Photo biomodulation tech in a flexible on-body panel. This is the tri-light from Therasage and it's next level red light therapy. It's got 118 high-powered polychromatic lights, each delivering 3 healing frequencies, red and near infrared from 580 to 980 nanometers. Optimal penetration, enhanced energy, skin rejuvenation, pain relief, better performance, quicker recovery, and so much more. Therasage has been leading the game for over 25 years, and this panel is FDA listed and USB powered. Ultra soft and flexible and ultra portable. On-body red light therapy I use daily and I take it everywhere I travel. This is the Thera O3 ozone module from Therasage. It's a portable ozone and negative ion therapy in one. It boosts oxygen, clears and sanitizes the air, and even helps your mood. It's a total game changer at home or on the go. This little device is the Thera O3 ozone module by Therasage, and it's one of my favorite wellness tools. In the sauna, it boosts ozone absorption through your skin up to 10 times. Oxygenating your blood and supporting deep detox. Outside the sauna, it purifies the air, killing germs, bacteria, viruses, and mold, and it improves mood and sleep with negative ion therapy. It's compact, rechargeable, and perfect for travel, planes, offices, hotel rooms, you name it. It's like carrying clean energy wherever you go. This is a Thera H2 Go from Therasage, the only bottle with molecular hydrogen structured water and red light in one. It hydrates, energizes, and detoxes water upgraded. The Thera H2 Go from Therasage isn't just a water bottle, it's next level hydration. It infuses your water with molecular hydrogen, one of the most powerful antioxidants out there. That means less oxidative stress, more energy, and faster recovery. But here's what makes it stand out. It's the only bottle that also structures your water and adds red light to supercharge it. It's sleek, portable, and honestly, I don't go anywhere without it.
It says, I believe in that area, it's talking about saying the Shema prayer. It's a Jewish prayer that Jews say. So it's basically talking about, are you allowed to say that prayer in front of like someone who's naked, right? Can you say prayers in front of naked people? Because the Talmud's just trying to cover every damn topic. There's so much just boring stuff in there. How many walls is considered a hut? But just random conversations because you have to get to a final law, right? So they're saying, can you say the Shema prayer in front of someone who's naked? So they're like, can you say it in front of a Jewish naked guy? No, you can't. But then they're like, ooh, what if you said it? Could you say it in front of an animal? Because an animal is technically naked, right? So is that allowed? So they say, no, you could say it in front of an animal because it's different levels of nakedness. Obviously, an animal's always naked. And then it's like, and then it mentions also, someone who's not Jewish, you can't say the Shema prayer in front of them if they're naked. That's what it says there. Right, that's what it says. And then right after the next line, and I'm going to get to a point here. The next line, it says that why specify between Jewish and non-Jewish, right? Why not just say all humans, you can't say a prayer in front of them if they're not dressed. So then it says that one could think, because it's said in like the prophets, I believe, when it was talking about the ancient Egyptians in Egypt, where, they enslaved and raped the Jewish, just did terrible atrocities to the Jewish people. And they also practiced bestiality, did very just disgusting things. So it says in those prophets that it described it poetically, or because the prophets have a very unique way to describe things. It was more metaphor. It says whose flesh was like flesh of donkeys, talking about those ancient Egyptians who would just do bestiality and practice terrible, terrible things. And it was metaphor. It wasn't saying literally, right? It's just saying they acted freaking terrible. So one could think, this is what the Talmud's saying, because they'll just freaking ask about anything. One could think that because it mentioned that about ancient Egyptians, therefore, like, I guess anyone who isn't Jewish, maybe they'll think they're like flesh of donkeys, and they're all considered animals, and therefore you could say this prayer in front of them. And then a line later, it says, no, that's not true. All humans are made in the image of God. You cannot say the Shema prayer in front of anyone who's naked. Yeah, because we're all made in the image of God. So you have Dan Bilzerian, and he'll be like, your Talmud says, they'll just strip that entire thing, remove full context, which I just explained it about to you, a couple of minutes, and they'll say, Jews believe that the non-Jews are cattle, and they'll plop it on Twitter. They'll put it in a screenshot, and then bam. And now like everyone thinks that we hate cattle. They think that we have like a derogatory term for people who aren't Jewish. The word that they use, because it's a Hebrew word, it's called go.
If you're building something, doesn't matter if it's a business, a brand, or just a better version of yourself, then you already know. The work never really stops. Your brain is always on. Ideas at 2 a.m., problems at 3, plans at 4. But here's the truth. If you never shut down, you're going to crash fast. That's why I use Sambrosa. It's not hype. It's not some trendy sleep hack. It's a legit syrup that helps you fall asleep when your brain won't let you. You take it and 20 to 30 minutes later, you're out. Not groggy, not drugged up, just asleep like you're supposed to be. Then you wake up clear with no brain fog, no dragging yourself out of bed, you get your hours in, and you actually feel like you slept. Sleep isn't optional, it's not self-care, it's strategy. If you're not getting it right, you're leaving energy, focus, and money on the table. Sambrosa helps me sleep, it helps me execute, that's the only reason I talk about it. You want to get ahead, start by getting real rest. Check out the link below in their website, www.sambrosa.com.
Goy or goyim. I don't know if you've heard that word before.
No.
So goy means nation, goyim means nations. And it's usually in this context of like, basically, if you're not Jewish, that's basically what it means. They'll just lie and say that it means cattle. That like if you call someone a goy, which Jews don't even use it like we don't even use that in our day-to-day conversation. They think that we're calling people goy and goyim and calling them animals. But it literally means nations, and you'll just have these guys. They'll just say, they call us animals. They think we're animals. They think we're terrible people. And the reason I'm being so like concrete about this right now is because you'll have Nick Fuentes, you'll have Sneeko, you'll have all these guys online. And listen, freedom of speech, like I support freedom of speech, but also freedom of you're like a freaking liar and just completely taking things out of context. And in other cases, just completely making things up. I saw like this, someone quoted something. It was from Libre David or God Shas, so saying some other not nice things that Jews would say about non-Jews. And those books don't exist. I tried to research it. I'm like, what's it talking about? Because, I learned Torah when I was in a Jewish high school, which is called yeshiva. And I don't remember learning any of that. And then I see that literally it doesn't exist. They'll just plop things, put it on a Twitter screenshot, throw it on the internet, gets hundreds of millions of impressions because it's just trendy right now, I guess, to just not like Jews. That's sort of what I've been trying to do recently is just, for some reason, Nazi content on Instagram is like a big trend right now. I don't know if you've been seeing it, but I'll see videos with hundreds of thousands of likes, just anti-Jewish. And I used to not get into those things before. I started off on social media just making jokes.
Yeah, you used to react to South Park videos.
I would react to Jewish jokes in South Park, Family Guy. I'm not like a sensitive guy. I joke about Jewish stuff all the time. I mean, that's how I grew in the beginning. And then I just see, wait, you guys, you're not being serious when you say we think non-Jews are animals, right? And they're like, no, you guys are, and you're the spawn of Satan, and that's why we have to they're not going to say get rid of us, but these guys have some sort of plan that involves Jews not being around. So I'm just basically coming online and saying, no, you're like wrong, you're like a liar and like an idiot and need some help, right?
Would you lump Ian Carroll into these names you're mentioning?
Ian Carroll, I've seen his name before. I haven't seen too much of him.
Okay.
So I don't really know per se.
Did you watch the Douglas Murray-Dave Smith debate on Joe Rogan?
I didn't watch it. I heard of it. People were telling me to watch that debate. I didn't get too deep into it. Were they getting into Talmud things?
I don't know. It's just interesting how people just take one side before even watching it.
Right.
100%.
These guys won't, like, I didn't form an opinion. I assume one side is I guess more pro-Jew, and one side's more or less. Like, I'm not, obviously, like, as a Jewish guy, but
there's a bias.
I'm good, but I'm gonna watch that thing before I give any opinion on it. You just asked me. I want to watch that episode first before I give anything. I'm willing to hear people out, which is why when people lie about Jews on the internet, majority of like even older rabbis than me, they won't even look at it. They don't even know it exists because they're off the internet. They don't even know that we're being lied about on the internet.
Right. You're 21 as a rabbi. That's I'm 21. Super young, right?
Yeah, I became a rabbi really young. So I'm a part of the Chabad movement. It's a sect. It's like a sect of Hasidic Judaism, which is just more of a spiritual, doing everything with joy and things like that. And so the leader of that movement, he passed away in the 90s. His name was Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson. And he pretty much said that every single young man should become a rabbi before he gets married. So that
Shout out to Northwest Registered Agent, today's sponsor. Starting your own business should be exciting, not overwhelming. I've been there and I know how fast things can get complicated. Imagine getting it all done, your entire business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes, seriously. With Northwest Registered Agent, you get more privacy, more control, and real experts who've been doing this for nearly 30 years. Whether you're launching an LLC or starting a corporation, Northwest forms your business for just $39 plus state fees and gives you the support you need every step of the way. If you need a website, a local business address, trademark protection, they've got you covered, all in one easy account. And here's the big one. You could protect your identity by using their address instead of your home. Want more? Their premium mail forwarding gives your business a professional presence while keeping your personal info secure. Don't wait, protect your privacy. Build your brand and set up your business in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Visit northwestregisteredagent.com/social hour and start building something amazing.
he's equipped with the, basic laws of running your household and checking things for kosher to make sure that the products are kosher.
So I actually love kosher food side.
Right?
It tastes good.
Is it actually? Because sometimes I'll look at something not kosher and I'm like, I wonder, is like bacon like really that good?
If you know what I know about how they make that meat.
Oh, are they putting
They put in whatever injections into the pig. They're feeding it shit.
The Twitter guys will say that Jews are putting some harmful chemical inside that stuff to just, I don't know if you've been down those Twitter.
No, I haven't been down that one.
No, the Twitter, they'll call it the rabbi hole. These Jew haters. I don't even say anti-Semite because they completely ruined the definition.
They hate that word.
They'll dissect it and be like, well, you're not even. They'll nitpick the word and say that Semite is because a Semite is someone darker from the Middle East, things like that. Yeah. Which there are many Jews like that, and I believe all Jews obviously stem from there. But basically what they're saying is that when you call someone anti-Semitic, how could you as a Jew call someone anti-Semitic? You're not even a Semite. And I'm like, okay, it was made in the 1800s talking about Jewish hate. That was the context of how the word was made. You want to start changing definitions, you want to start nitpicking it, because I can nitpick the word butterfly and say that it means flying butter. You know what I mean? So I just say Jew hater now because it also just sounds more serious. Because anti-Semite, no, you're a Jew hater. You hate Jews and you do that online. And I guess they profit from it. They always say that Jews run the world and they're trying to do this and feed you this information so that we could, to control the population, and they're trying to steal your money. And I'm thinking, because these guys, they got to be smart to be at the place that they are. But at the same time, how could he be so dumb and just completely, it takes 2 seconds to debunk just these Jew-hating quotes online or things from our Torah and things like that. It takes 2 seconds. It took me about 5 minutes to pretty much debunk that entire thing that these guys spend years teaching to everyone. And I'm like, these guys have had to have done some research just to see. And it's are they really that dumb, or are they actually smart and they're just utilizing that they just know that there's a crowd of people that are into that thing, and they're just trying to make some money from it too. No harm. They're just trying to make myself, Dan Bilzerian, Nick Fuentes, Sneeko, all those guys, we all have something in common, which is, we all milk Judaism for clout and for clout and financial gain. I try to do it in a more positive way, and they do it in another way, which is usually not so nice. And, if they're religious people, I feel every religion, in general says to treat everyone with respect, because we're made in the image of God, at least the Abrahamic religions like Christianity, Islam. So, when they just completely lie and just say things about Jews like that, it's annoying. And not enough people are talking about it. They're just, I'm looking at these other Jews, they're talking more Israel, Palestine, fine. I don't even get too much into that, but dude, they're attacking their religion to its core right now. And you're just sitting there and they just continue to lie. But
have you ever debated one of these characters, or?
No, never debated a single one.
Would you do it?
Would I do a debate? 100%. Dan Bilzerian, easy. The guy's easy. He's freak. Yeah, first, I'm going to start off with the haircut, obviously, because that's just, it's just a unique, it's like boning in the front and something in the back. I don't know if he cut it off. And I don't know why he calls it the Talmud. It makes no sense. You know how to read, right? It's it's like Talmud. How do you see two O's from that? It really bothers me and upsets me. So I'd probably spend the first 20 minutes talking about that. And then just completely debunking every single one of his Talmud quotes and how Jews say this and that, because none of them are real. Easy light work.
Well, Nick's coming on the show, so I will
Nick
ask him
Fuentes.
if he
I'd
wants
love
to debate
to talk
you.
to that man, and I'll do it peacefully.
Okay.
I'm a peaceful
That's my
guy.
goal. If I was to moderate that, I wouldn't want it to get out of hand.
I'm saying no, 100%. I would 100% get into that. And I'm pretty sure you're having Nima next, Alpha King Nima. So he's also, he gets into all that stuff in the Middle East and things like that. And we started a show recently on his page on Rumble.
Oh, nice.
We call it's just a little pilot that we're testing. It's called The Jews. Where,
What a name.
It's a great name. Where we're like, okay, we're on Rumble. Rumble is more of an edgy demographic. And we put a number on the screen and we're like, okay, call the Jews. Like, you guys keep on saying the Jews do this, the Jews do that. Please call us and we're gonna answer you. We're gonna tell you what's up. Like, you're on phone with the Jews. Like, this is the Jews. Like, what do you? And we started recently. It went very, very well, I think. And I want to make even more episodes, just clarifying things, also entertaining on there because you're gonna keep talking about the Jews. They don't actually point to any individuals. Like, who are these people that you're talking about? And the problem with because I'll be like, name this individual, and they're like, yeah, but they're all Jews. But the problem is when they say Jews, people don't really think of some non-religious, bald Jewish guy with a suit. They're thinking the like Hasidic Jewish guy in Brooklyn with the curls, right, and and the yarmulke and the hat. Like, that's the dude that's getting attacked in public because you're saying this guy owns a bank. Which, by the way, I mean, it's funny, people use the whole stereotype of Jews are lenders and do banks and stuff, when, I mean, Jews were literally forced into that exact position. Literally, like in the medieval times, Jews weren't allowed, I believe it was under the Catholic Church, Jews weren't allowed to own land, work any jobs, pretty much do anything. And I believe the Christian law was Christians aren't allowed to charge interest from each other. So they'd use Jews as the in-between because they don't have any jobs and they're the only ones that can really do it. And what happened when you gave Jews an opportunity? They freaking got insane at it. They got really good at it. And they got really good at interest and lending, and eventually opened up banks. And I guess some Jews own banks now, not all of them, but some do, and they're really successful at it. And they're like, you guys are lenders and you own banks. And they're like, yeah, we were sort of forced into that position and now we're good at it. Yep. It was the same thing with entertainment in Hollywood, things like that. Being on TV in the movies and in Hollywood in like early 1900s, 1800s, it was considered like a clown thing to do. It wasn't sophisticated to be in those types of things. But that was the only opportunity Jews really had. They literally created the entertainment industry, and then it started getting cool, and then it started getting whatever, and then people started getting mad that Jews have, some positions of power in entertainment.
Wow.
Some positions.
I actually didn't know that. That's interesting.
Literally, I mean, the idea wasn't even like existing. It's like if you create a product and then you start selling it, and then someone says, "Hey, this guy owns the product." Like, yeah, they made the product, and now obviously not all own all entertainment. It's just a stupid thing to say. And once again, when you use it's the Hasidic guy in Brooklyn getting attacked because of that. And he doesn't even have a smartphone. So it's completely ridiculous.
What about politics? Because Jake Shields always talks about like AIPAC and how there's a lot of influence there.
Oh, 100%. Right? I'm like paid off by AIPAC. I'm like a government. I'm a Mossad agent that was planted here to influence the youth and the population so that they could pay their interest. That's just sort of... what's funny is actually the first comment I ever got on social media, which was I started showing my face on social media like 2020. And I wasn't even doing anything Jewish related. I was just making regular TikTok jokes. And I remember I showed my face for the first time and I got a comment on my post, the first ever comment I ever received. I was really excited, and it said "Free Palestine." And the first thing I thought, I was like 16. I was like, what's Palestine? I literally, like, what's Palestine? Like, I didn't freaking know. I knew about Israel, and I knew Jews, and obviously I'm Jewish. I knew that there's conflict in the Middle East, but I didn't know shit about, like, they're yelling "Free Palestine" to me in my comments. So I didn't even know what it was. So yeah, I started looking into it and do that whole breakdown. And then randomly, this guy made a video on me where I'm making some random joke about just about Jews or something, and he responds to the video saying, "Oh, but when it comes to Palestinians, you have no issue killing us. Completely left field. Just stitches that and says that to me. And I respond to it and I say, I'm from fucking Ohio. I've never, I'm constantly being dragged and pulled into that thing and yelled at. And I'm just a Jewish guy from Ohio. I haven't even been to Israel yet.
Wow.
I've never been there a single time. And I'm always dragged into that shit. And, I personally, I don't speak too much on it because I'm focusing on trying to get the actual Jew hatred to go down. Because you'll have guys like Nick Fuentes or Jake Shields and Tate, Andrew Tate. And although Tate's got a little, he got a little
He's
better.
cooled off.
He cooled off. With
I would
recently.
replace him with Myron.
Yeah, he freaking commented on one of my videos saying the song was promised to you. The video I was reacting to was promised to you 4,000 years ago, which is basically like a dog whistle to how Israel was promised to the Jewish people 4,000 years ago. So he's making fun of me. I don't even talk about Israel on there. So that was really weird left field from Myron to just put that on me.
Huh.
But yeah, I'll have these Jews and people that aren't Jewish. They're mad at me because I don't get too much into it. But what's usually going to happen is it's a losing battle when you discuss those things. And the people that do who are really freaking smart about that, I'm like, dude, talk about that, discuss that. I'm just trying to lower the actual Jew hatred. Because what I was saying about Nick Fuentes and all these guys. They'll be like, Israel this, Israel that. You're talking about the Jewish people. Nick and his freaking however the hell, he speaks in a funny pattern. They'll say, Israel. But a lot of these Jew haters, they'll just sort of use it as a shield for actual Jew hatred. You can tell from October 7th when all that stuff happens, the amount of blatant Jew hatred that you'll see on Reels and Twitter is just, it's comedic, which is why I started talking about it. Cause I didn't care. Because you're just giving it attention. It's not going to work. But literally since Israel-Palestine shit started going crazy, coincidentally, the Jew hatred has also been, I guess, growing at the same exact rate. And you'll have these guys on Twitter Israel. They always try to draw it back to the Jews of how the Jews run the world and the Jews do this and the Jews do that. And it's all dumb. And it's okay, maybe some guys, you're trying to, defend Palestine. Great. Other guys, you don't give a shit about conflict in the Middle East. You're freaking a white dude in America. Stop pretending you just don't like Jews. And you're using this as some, in between thing to slowly convince them.
Yeah.
And some people will fall for it. And some people are like, wait, are you talking about the Jewish people or Israeli government? And they're like,
When Elon first took over Twitter, I was really excited.
Right.
And now I just look at my mood on when I'm done scrolling. I'm like, how do I feel right now? And it's usually kind of negative because there's just
Twitter,
a lot of,
The way to grow on Twitter right now is full on rage bait.
To be negative, right?
You just got to piss people off, which is why I haven't gone too big on Twitter yet. I realize I have to start pissing people off. I guess that's the only
in your
way.
Space, that's where it's at right now.
I'm but it's actually very easy because I'm a Jewish rabbi.
All you got to do is post a selfie and you'll get 1,000 comments probably.
Oh, these guys are that selfie was promised to you 4,000 years ago. I'm like, dude, sure, why not? Didn't we invent all these electronics and stuff? Jews? I don't know. They'll say, oh, Instagram is, they'll say everything's controlled and this, that. And Mark Zuckerberg is a Jewish guy who owns Instagram, and the content that's being promoted is Jew-hating content. So it's stupid they'll say Jews run the media. Well, guess what? The media is showing anti-Jewish stuff. So I remember I had a TikTok live stream. This was actually crazy. A few years ago. This is before October 7th. It's 2020. And I was basically talking about how there were Jews in Brooklyn that were American Jews in Brooklyn, getting physically attacked because of, literally just, I believe it actually was because of some conflict that was happening in the Middle East, but it was before October 7th. American Jews getting attacked in public. And I was saying how, media won't talk about it. Barely any Jews are even talking about it. If I talk about this right now, this stream will probably get taken down. This was on TikTok Live. And right after I said that, the TikTok Live got banned, my account got banned, and my entire phone got banned.
Damn,
I was no longer able to make accounts on TikTok.
Holy
and
crap.
I got a factory ban. And I had 4 other accounts with a few 100,000 followers on TikTok. Every single one of them got banned. I got banned 5 millions worth of followers at the same time. One day, I had to get a new phone to make another account. All of them instantly got banned. instant. And
Wow.
so it's just funny. They'll say Jews run the media, this, and that. Well, I mean, I was talking about pro-Jewish stuff and I got factory banned. So, what do you have to say about that?
So definitely not on TikTok.
Oh, definitely not on TikTok. Instagram promotes anti-Jewish stuff. I see reels with just full-on Nazi propaganda. I mean, yeah, it's to say that Jews just have control on media and things like that. It's just stupid because I'm seeing more of that stuff than any. And they'll say, and I'll talk to my friends. I'll be like, "Is this just my feed? Is this, I don't know if you're seeing any of that on your feed."
I see it on Twitter, not really Instagram, but Instagram kind of caters to what you like, I think.
Right.
So I'm not liking any Jew hatred videos. So I don't think I get
No, I'm
those.
not liking them. They're just getting shown to me.
Well, for you probably comment on them.
Probably.
So that probably thinks you like it. It makes,
Yeah. No, I mean, I saw a video with 500,000 likes.
Damn.
It said me after finding out I'm 0.1% Jewish, and it was a guy driving into traffic, which is funny. But it's like this has like millions of views and 500,000 likes of people, and like a lot of them are probably just liking it because it's funny and there's a humor side to it. But at the same time, it's this has a little bit too many likes for my comfort. I mean, a lot of people getting into that. I don't know, some water spill, not. But,
why do you, it's spilled, but I'm good. Why do you think it's so popular just to hate on Jewish people right now?
Because we're like extremely. Oh, right now it's because October 7th, 100% just magnified everything, just made the topic of Jews in general just got more popular. But but it's the same stuff that's always been said. Jews run the world, Jews on the banks, this and that, because we're a small community. We've been persecuted. Somehow, some way, we always figure out a way to get successful afterwards. It happened time and time again. And you have these neo-Nazis now who think, oh, but if we do, we're going to gather together and get rid of the Jews again. Well, guess what, clown? They did that like 100 times. And none of those nations exist anymore. And Jews are still here. So, it hasn't really been working.
It's scary. That's a possibility of that happening to Jewish people.
It is a scary possibility. But like, I don't think about that stuff because... One, I believe in God, and I believe that we're here for a reason, and that Jews are here for a reason to spread light into the world, and to uplift the world, and to help everyone, Jews, non-Jewish, to help uplift the world. But also just like statistically, logically thinking, they tried getting rid of us like 100 times, and we're still here. So I assume that we'll probably still be here, we're going to figure out another way. Well, they did the Holocaust. That was a pretty big plan, and that didn't really work.
And they're denying those numbers now.
Oh, yeah, they'll deny those numbers. They'll say, like, it's 271,000. That's also just complete, like the German Nazi government, Red Cross or something, said that we only killed this many. How convenient that the Nazi government they didn't want to be truthful about how many they killed. Also, they killed majority of them, like, instantly. It wasn't like... They couldn't just like put a little number on every, you're number one, you're number two. They shoved these guys in chambers, freaking gassed them, and then they burned their bodies. Yeah. Oh, because the whole thing was that they can't burn. It's impossible to burn that many bodies.
Yeah, people are going on ChatGPT and looking up how many bodies can be burned per hour.
One of the big dog whistles you see online is, if I have this, like 5 ovens that burn this amount of cookies, how many cookies can I burn in 4 years? And it will say like 271,000 is the most you could burn in 5 years. And they see there's like 5 ovens or something. I'm like, dude, in Auschwitz, the concentration camp alone, there were, I believe there are at least 5 gas chambers, 3 or 4, maybe even more crematoriums, houses dedicated to literally burning bodies. Each of those crematoriums had either 12 or 15 ovens in each of them, and they'd shove multiple bodies. They'd shove 2 bodies. They'd shove fat people in with little children so that it'd burn quicker.
Jeez.
They'd shove multiple people inside of there so that it would burn quicker. And they had this running clockwork. I believe easily 10 million bodies could have been burned, hypothetically speaking. Eyewitness accounts that were there said they could have been burned even more, that they were shoving more people in there. So this takes a second of research. This takes 2 seconds, And what sucks is, any Jew hater that watches this will, trying to, why is this Jewish guy out here? They'll listen to this and they'll ignore it. It's like, bro, I answered your Holocaust denial. I answered your Talmud hatred, but like, you no longer have a reason. Like your reason to hate Jews because we think they're animals, or to deny Holocaust numbers, like, it took 2 seconds to debunk. So your reason's sort of gone now. But they don't want reasoning. They just want to hate on something. Now the Holocaust like very much happened. My family, multiple of my family members, many of them died, and then some survived. I've come from a survivor. He moved he escaped the Holocaust. right before it got bad. He was actually he marched on Washington with Martin Luther King.
Wow.
Because he came to America for freedom, land of the free. Like, Jews love America because it was the first time that we had free opportunity to really, because we're always persecuted in other countries, finally a free country. And he went to America and he saw that they're doing the same. He was like, oh, finally land of the free. And then he saw the same prejudice people were putting against Jews in Germany, they were putting on black people. And he was like, what
did I come to?
So he would show up to all those rallies. He marched with them.
Respect.
100%. You know, we're just trying, there's got to be equality for everyone, man. Which sounds so like, you know, it sounds so basic to say, but, and also there's this whole thing that I guess Jewish people in the black community have like a beef or something for some reason.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I believe in Brooklyn because they live close to each other, and I guess there's just politics that would happen. I believe there were riots back in the 80s between them. But so I always just try mentioning that to show that there is like, you know, my family had a bond, you know, with the black community.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know they had beef. Wow.
Yeah. No,
they should be trauma bonding, honestly.
Literally like 100%. There's so much shared similarities, and obviously like certain, you know, it's not like you compare like slavery and the Holocaust. They're two different things, but they're their own traumas. But 100%, there's got to be more discourse and communication, I think, between both communities for sure. What's
the next content you're going to be focused on this year?
This year, I'm really trying to focus on, debunking all this Jew crap on Twitter, speaking to all those, I was gonna call them idiots. Just, and I know I keep on stressing Dan Bilzerian, Nick Fuentes. They just continuously lie and get millions of impressions. And Jews like myself just have to sit and watch, knowing that it's wrong. And I kept on sitting around waiting for someone to say something. I'm like, yo, that's so easy to say that Talmud quote is wrong. The Holocaust number takes 2 seconds of research, and no one's doing it. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I freaking have to do it. I know I'd much rather make my little jokes and go on some podcast, call it a day. Not this. I'm
You're
trying to get some information on here. I'm just trying to be comedic. But at a certain point, it's like, oh, well, Jews think this, and I'm like, no. I want to, so this year I really want to focus on attacking that stuff. I also want to be entertaining and be still making comedic content and things like that, but very much stress on just anti-Nazi content. I've been doing some of that on Instagram, and it's been performing because Jews we finally feel like there's like a group sort of starting to fight back against these guys online, just spreading terrible, terrible lies.
We got to get you on Piers Morgan to debate.
Get me on Piers Morgan. To debate who? Sorry.
To debate. I was going to say Kanye, but
you saw the recent video of Kanye?
Which one?
He had a stream with, I believe, Sneeko and Nick Fuentes.
Oh yeah, it was Sneeko and Neon, right?
So I saw another clip. Nick Fuentes was there.
Okay.
I believe like Kanye like admitted that he was like he's like a cuck or something and enjoys that stuff.
Oh, the cousin stuff, right?
He says a lot of weird shit. I mean, he says a lot of weird shit about Jews. I mean, what did he say? DEFCON 3, that whole shit that. I want to go DEFCON 3 on the Jews. And it's like, do I actually think he hates Jews? Maybe there's some guy that happened to be Jewish and now he's pissed off because he screwed him over. But you're saying all the Jews here, I didn't do shit to you. And then he'll release a song called Hail Hitler over and over. And I'm like, holy shit, like Kanye, you're freaking like, you're like a terrible person, but you know, this beat is amazing, right? It's like, God damn it. Like, I want to hate this song so much, but that shit is fire. You know what I mean? No, the lyricism is, I
haven't heard that one yet.
I'm like very anti-Hitler. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But it was like, he had that. All of his recent songs are like Nazi related shit. But he's such a freaking good producer. It sounds good. And I'm like,
I think you do better than Rabbi Shmuley, at least. So.
That's who I was going to bring up. Rabbi Shmuley, he's a Jewish guy. He gets into all these politics. And, you know, Jew to Jew, I love him. He's a Jew, you know, but that's about it. You know what I'm saying? He's, he's been acting like a clown online. And I don't want to be so harsh towards another Jewish man, but he's been clowning the Jewish community.
It's a bad representation.
It's terrible representation. He argues with emotion and he just insults and gets emotional. Like, you could speak facts here. You could speak logic instead of just whining all the time. But no, he goes on Piers Morgan. He whines. He calls himself America's rabbi, which you can't there is no America's rabbi. That doesn't exist. We're just rabbis here. There's no like self-appointed America's rabbi. You know, maybe you have some communities that will argue about that and say, no, it's my rabbi. No, it's this rabbi. He just called himself America's rabbi. I don't think he's like the rabbi of any like synagogue or anything. And And then he'll just go on Piers Morgan and just start yapping about shit. And I'm like, dude, I'm 20 years younger than you. I could do so much better than this. And I believe his daughter owns like a kosher sex shop.
Oh, yep.
Kosher sex toys.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know much about that. What makes it kosher? Is there like a certification on it? Maybe I don't know. Like when you get head, or you're like I don't freaking know. Point is, he owns that sex shop, and he just have these Nazis online just going ham at him because his daughter owns the shop. But yeah, not the best representation, I'd say.
I agree.
I'd say for
you
the
can't
Jews.
Argue with emotion these days. With the internet so accessible, people could just look up facts quick.
I'm saying, and also he's debating with guys that are just out of his level when it comes to just their knowledge of debates. I don't know if that guy has ever debated anything in his life, and he just goes full on panic, red face, emotion. And it makes Jews look bad. And for some people, that's like the only rabbi they know. So they're like, Rabbi Shmuley, what do you mean? He's America's rabbi. He's your rabbi. And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? But
and I know Pierce is smart, so he's doing it for a reason.
Oh no, this guy gets views. He's reactionary. He's hilarious to watch. He gets views every single time he's on the podcast or on his show. So he'll
invite him. He'll invite Cenk Uygur.
Mohammed Ijab, he had one with him. They have like all those guys and just like, Go at it, and then he's like making some money from here. Maybe he's the real Jew, He's freaking ka-chinging from all that stuff. But
and Pierce debated Kanye. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did see that one. He was,
but he wasn't. He was just kind of emotional too, to be honest.
Pierce?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like he wasn't arguing with facts. I felt like with Kanye.
Right. Well, because with a crazy man, it's pretty hard to just. It's hard to even speak facts to those types of people because they just run full on emotion. Also, is he like bipolar, Kanye?
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's something. I mean, he said, death con to the Jewish people. And then he's like, I just watched 21 Jump Street and Jonah Hill was kind of funny and he's Jewish. So I like Jews again. And I apologize to the Jewish community. And then he'll be like, I hate Jews. And then he'll spam one tweet every 20 minutes about Jews this, Jews that. And I love Diddy, free Diddy. And I'm like, okay. Crazy
time we're in right now, man.
Interesting.
I wonder if this will eventually phase out or if it's going to get worse. Like, I don't know.
The Jew thing?
The Jew hatred, yeah.
I think it's going to get worse.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, because it's getting trendy. It's only this year that I started seeing these things get trendy. People like Nick Fuentes getting this attention. Like, I would never see these things get millions of views and impressions and all the comments in agreement with these things. This is like the first time I've ever seen it to this scale. So I'm like, okay, let's do something about this because no, it's like, hey, you rabbi, are you going to talk about this? No, I'm busy learning Torah and I don't use social media. Hey, you're a rabbi, you're going to do it? No, I'm crazy and my daughter sells sex toys. Okay, well then I guess like I'm the only one left to do this and I'm just like a 21-year-old rabbi. So, and I'm not even going to say that I'm the biggest professional in the world, but this is what we got here. So I'm going to do everything that I can to just debunk those things.
Damn, 21 and you got to hold your own.
I'm trying, man. I mean, I had this thing with Sneeko. Sneeko, I think he has gotten better, but he still also just spreads lies about the Talmud. I mean, he told me a few years ago, I don't know if he's changed, but he told me a few years ago when I was having some online discourse with him through like videos, and he told me, go back to synagogue, stop trying to be a YouTuber, and that I have a little funny hat on my head that tells me what to think, so I don't have freedom of choice for the most part. Like, he said some weird things about Jews also. Like, that was personally to me. When people say things about Jews in general, I'm like, okay, I could educate you. But yeah, he was like saying those things to be in general, like just full on like anti-Semitic stuff. And then it'll just everyone ignores it, continue to grow. And I'm left like, okay, well, someone's got to answer these questions. And I ended up, I was at like 5K on YouTube then, but eventually I did become a YouTuber.
Damn.
I got my plaque, so whatever the hell he has to say, guess he's not going to predict in the future.
I'd love to see you debate him one day.
Well, I'd love to speak with Sneeko. To be honest, if I met Sneeko, I don't think I'd actually because I don't hate people to the core, because I know that they're just lost and you could easily educate these things to them, but no one's properly doing it. When I see them get on discourse with Jews, they don't know enough about like the Talmud to be able to be ready for when they throw a random quote at you, to be able to explain it's like 5 pages of context to understand that quote, and they'll just like rip it, add some words to it and call it a day. So they're not ready for that. I went out of my way to learn those quotes individually so that I could, and I'm still learning it because you'll have these guys who are like, I read the Talmud and it says this. Well, buddy, it takes 7 years of learning 1 hour a day and already being knowledgeable and reading Aramaic in the commentaries alongside of it to finish the Talmud once.
Damn.
Yeah.
7 years.
Yeah. Take 7 years, and you're rushing it. You're not even going through it's a whole situation. It's not like you're reading a book. It's the main stuff in the middle. There's commentary on the sides. You have these rabbis saying this and that. It's like Jewish Reddit. I mean, but when you go on Reddit to find an answer, you're not going to look at a random comments and say, this is the answer and this is the answer for everybody. Like, this is what everyone believes. It's like, no, this guy's just giving an opinion because we have to figure some stuff out now. So I'm just trying to learn all those quotes and debug all those things because, full on straight up lies being told. And like, I have like this internal conflict in my mind where, I'm trying to be like an entertainer and like a funny guy and things like that, and just be more of like a regular YouTuber streamer who happens to be Jewish. I call myself Jewboi, obviously. But then you got the other side, this full on, like, am I supposed to just let these guys say these terrible things about Jews? Like, no, I'm not going to have that. So, I'm going to talk my shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, we'll see a lot more of you in the next few months, man. Anything else you want to close off with here?
I know I mentioned this more before early in the episode, but to anyone who's watching, I was paid by AIPAC to be here. I am a Mossad agent. I was planted here to influence the youth and the general non-Jewish population that Jews are great and are amazing for humanity, and to pay us your interest. Yeah, that's why I was brought down here.
Bars.
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Have a good one, guys. Nice.